Uh, you know what? I come up with the ideas. Well, I guess, I don't know. I come up with the ideas for these lives like about 5 seconds before I go live. Whoa, got flipped around here. But in general, one of the most important things that I think about sharing, um, that I feel like I can contribute in a unique way to this world, is this crossover that I have from natural horsemanship to dressage. The unique background that I came from, if you don't know, I was a cowboy for a little bit, like a legit, real cowboy. um, Moving cows around. But I also did like a lot of natural horsemanship stuff and problem horse stuff, groundwork stuff, Western stuff. And I think that is has some very unique, cool things that you can bring to dressage from that world. So that's I feel compelled to share my piece of horse training that comes from that world into this world. I feel it's really important. Hi, Emma. Emma from the UK. She says she loves my sister and my mom. Lovely to see you live on my birthday. Hi, Zoe. Happy birthday. Zoe Underwood. Dolan very wet here today. Yeah, we have a beautiful San Diego day. Let's see. What should we talk about, guys? Bending under saddle. How about riding no-handed on Soulmate? And get these gloves off. I just got on him like 5 seconds ago before I started my live. Okay, bending under saddle. Bending, bending, bending. Why bending? You know, I think bending is a place of vulnerability for the horse. Bending is a place of suppleness, a place of softness. Straightness is a place of power for the horse. If they're in a mode of self-preservation, they're going to be straight. If they're in a mode of softness, they're going to be bent. Think of a horse like curled up, sleeping on the ground. Not laying flat on the ground, but curled up. They're like so much bend through their top line and their body. Yeah, it's a place of vulnerability for the horse, but it's also an extremely powerful place for us as a rider. In the Western community, they talk about bending from the inside rein, teaching them. Some people call it the one rein stop. I don't like to call it that. Some people call it disengaging the hindquarters. I don't really like to call it that. I just call it deeper bending, and that is, like I've shown you guys before, teaching the horse to bend from the inside rein, yield the hind leg under. That left hind leg reaches under the body, and I don't really need an outside rein there, just the inside rein, articulating the bend, teaching him to yield. It's a very powerful place. I'll see if I can show you guys here. So taking the inside rein, bending. Ooh, that's hard to do. Till they get stopped, then giving it. That place is a very powerful place as a rider. So if a horse is going to pull against you, they're going to be straight. If they're going to pull against a carriage or brace through their body, they're going to be straight in their body. That's their powerful place. If they're bending, you're at a more powerful place. It's also just a point of leverage. Like if my rein is here, I only have so much power. But if my rein is here bending, like it's really hard for him to pull his head away from me. A few other things in this deeper bending. It's a great way to like diffuse energy. So if your horse gets really hot and excited, you can stop him with both reins, but sometimes that bottles up this energy and it explodes. We don't really want that. So if we bend, we can diffuse some of that energy and blow off some of that energy. And your horse, Soulmate's not really hot here. He's just hanging out. But if your horse is super crazy, bend them and use that energy. Don't just say stop, stop, stop. A great story that I rode a horse when I was a kid. His name was Blue, a little quarter horse. We went to move cows around on him, and he got kind of amped up, and there were two other horses that had left to go move the cows, and he felt kind of alone. I was with somebody else actually close by. He had so much energy, just like energy, energy, energy. And I was just a kid holding both reins, trying to get him to settle down and everything. And eventually he just blew up and bucked me off. He was, there, frantic energy. And then all of a sudden he just blew up and started bucking. And if you know anything about me, I am not a bronc rider. I fall off, I wouldn't say easily, but if a horse really bucks with me, I usually come off. So yeah. But it's, for me in dressage, it's more than that. It's like, I want to be able to more basic way and then develop that bend farther up. So if you can only position a few degrees of bend, you're limited. But if you can position from the inside rein more flexion, it's still basic. My hind leg is reaching under, but I can build on that progression. So think of how much bend you need in a Grand Prix half pass. Like the Grand Prix half pass is super steep. And although Soulmate's a 5-year-old, he's not going to be doing the Grand Prix soon. I still want to be able to position that much flexion through his body. Yeah, I want to do that in a basic way so that later on I can develop it into a more advanced way. But anyway, basic first. Bending, yielding the hindquarters under. Then more advanced than that is positioning the travers, where the haunch is in. Turning into like walk pirouette feeling, schooling walk pirouette feeling. But yeah, just being able to position bend. Let's see, let's read some of these comments. Hello from Austin, Texas. Hi, Stephanie. Tell me what I can do with a very heavy horse. He's so heavy, I'm afraid to put my leg on because he pulls me from my canter seat. A heavy horse, you need to work on, one of my favorite lessons to teach actually is a horse that's above the bit. Sometimes I think what happens with these horses is people try too hard to get them on the bit all the time. So they end up just holding. And what that does is that makes your aid meaning be rounder, to be insignificant. So you have to teach meaning to your aids. So if you have a heavy horse, you have to teach it, if I pick up the rein, that means something. What does that mean? That means that it's not beneficial to be riding around for 20 minutes trying to pull on him to get his frame round. You have to be in a moment more effective, or in a moment get a momentary response that's more correct. So if he's pulling on you in canter, go back to trot. He's going to pull you on you in canter, go back to, or trot, go back to walk until you slow down enough to be effective. Once you're effective, let it go. Don't try to hold it. I love saying that. Don't hold the frame, position the frame. Position the frame and let it go. Position the frame and let it go. Position the frame and let it go. Then you establish this dynamic, soft, supple connection. Hopefully that makes sense. Other things to do with heavy horses is work on your tempo regulation. If you can regulate the tempo post in self-carriage, then you can get them less heavy. If they're either running in the canter, taking over the tempo, going too fast, then you're always trying to slow them down. So that can be an issue. It's hard to say without seeing the horse. But yeah. And then, yeah, work on your bending stuff. That's what this video is all about. But if you can articulate the bend, position the bend, then you can get a horse to be more more respectful of that. Emma says, trainer says more leg, should I? Yes. The regulate the tempo makes sense. Yeah, so do you need more leg when the horse is heavy? As I say with all of my answers, it depends. It's not so easy. It's not so easy to answer these questions without seeing the horse. But sometimes you want to think push the frame down, push the frame round, as opposed to pull it. And sometimes you need more leg. You need more driving aids to create impulsion that drives the horse rounder instead of pulling the horse rounder. So think push the frame down as opposed to pull it down. And get to where you're working the horse through the body and ending up with a horse that is round. But yeah, sometimes you want to have the energy flow forward into the hand, and then he gives to the hand and is then round because the energy comes forward onto the bit. So does that mean more leg? I don't know that it necessarily means hold or press with the leg, but in a moment you may need more impulsion forward to then make the horse round. So think here, he's above we want to organize him round. We have to push from the leg so that he steps forward into bit, and then he can be round. But you can also work on it, like sometimes there's working into things. So you can work on just, and then you pick up the rein, you give back to him. So in this very easy, dynamic way, this other West they're less obsessed with connection and more obsessed with softness. That has advantages and disadvantages. But because the Western world is less obsessed with connection, what they want is that they can pick up both reins. Sorry about the connection, guys. If it's not effective, then they're just ignoring your aids and you're just in a pulling match with them. And we lose pulling matches with our horses. So don't fall into that trap. It takes two to pull. Don't pull on the horses. You have to get in there, be effective, make them round, let go. Make them round, let go. Let's see. Bending softens and relaxes on a hot horse. Great training uses. Yeah, bending is really good. Heavy, low, and very fast drying out. Emma. I'm glad this is helping you, Emma, because we all have struggled with these things. One of the best parts about being a trainer is that you get to sit on a lot of different horses and experience a lot of things and play around and play with different things. Hot horses, lazy horses, heavy horses, light horses. But yeah, keep adjusting, keep experimenting. Don't be afraid to slow down. Go backwards, get the basic things better, and then build back up to where you were before. Yeah, heavy horses can be super difficult. And then also the other thing with that I will point out is like the lighter the horse is to the leg, the better you can get them in the hand, and vice versa. The better you get them in the hand, the better they are off the leg. So there is, you asked, your trainer said more leg, but I would think a little more like, yes, maybe in an instant, but acceptance and understanding of the aids as an entirety. Are they responding when I come with the leg? And then you can use your driving aids to create roundness, to create softness. So for example, if I use my left leg, this leg over here, and I initiate that bend, I can yield him away from the left leg and result in left bend without really having to initiate that bend from my left hand. So if I can be really effective from the left leg, I should be able to get him soft on the left side of his body. If I can be effective with my right leg, I can get him soft from the right side of his body. And then we're having to do less from our hands. So pick the battles. That's the other thing that I would say with heavy horses. Pick the battles that you want to engage in. If you're asking a question, if you're saying get round, get soft, and the horse is just like, no, 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 you're losing. So try to pick a battle where you can have a conversation with the horse that is positive. That you go, hey, can you get round? Yep. Okay, that's all I needed. Thank you. Hey, can you get round? Yep. That's all I needed. But if you're over facing them, or they're set up to fail, they're running around in the tempo, or you've asked too much, or you've set them up wrong, or you're not using your inside bending aids, driving aids, then you're not doing them any favors to help them understand meaning from the aids that then you present. So try to have a conversation that's a positive one. I read a book on practicing once. It was totally about sports or human sports, but it said you should try to get to like a 80% success rate and then practice in that realm. So I play a little bit of basketball. I enjoy it just for fun. And so, when I'm at the basketball hoop, it's hard to get to that 80% success rate where like I'm close to the hoop shooting. Oh, then I get 80% that are going in the hoop. But I stand pretty close to the hoop because I'm not very good at basketball. And then shoot it over and over and over again. But I think about that with horsemanship. Try to get where you're getting, 80%, maybe more than that, 90% of the questions that you ask are then resulting in successful responses from your horses. That way you can build a successful conversation instead of just going around with not successful conversations. There's a book called The Talent Code. So I did all this reading about like how to become an expert or how to become excellent at things like Malcolm Gladwell, Outliers, and The Talent Code. That's Daniel Coyle. Really great book. But that book talks about practice and how there's like you can practice something, but then there's like super efficient practice and just what that looks like. And it looks like a lot of like back and forth and like slowing down and then getting it right and then speeding it up. So in his book, he talks about a kid who is practicing a song or something like that on the piano, and it's a pop song and the kid knows the song. So then the practice is like super fast versus if this kid is trying to learn something that the kid doesn't know, she has no interest in getting it right. She doesn't know what it sounds like that it's supposed to sound like. So then it's hard to fix her mistakes. But when the kid is practicing this pop song, it looks like she plays a few notes and then goes, oh, hits a wrong note, and then stops, and then goes back, and then plays the few notes correctly, and then plays the few notes correctly slowly, and then plays it a little bit faster, and then moves on to the next section. And plays it once, plays a wrong note, stops, goes back, fixes the note, gets it right, and then plays it a little faster, and then puts the two pieces together. And then all of a sudden the song starts to like take place really, really smooth. That's what our practice should look like with our horses too. We shouldn't be practicing the wrong thing over and over and over again. We should be going, if we have a wrong piece, we should slow down. We should demonstrate to the horse the response we want and then speed it up again. But just practicing the wrong thing is not effective. More comments here. Let's see. Hello from France, Sarah Wright. From Ireland, ooh, we got a lot of people on here. Emma wants to know, when are we expecting another tutorial? Are you still thinking about doing those? Would love to see another training session with Jess. Yeah, I should do more of those. Look at Guapo over here. He was good today. He just got out of the bath with Sergio. Next up I have Mozart. There's Izzy over there. This is Guapo right here. That's what I call the stallion influencer. They're working on some drain stuff around today. These are the kids playing with the blocks over there. They're at school now. Don't forget to like. Thank you, Vic. I agree. Don't forget to like, you guys. You guys want to see the horses over here? I'll show you. Hopefully I still have service because sometimes I walk over here and then the service dies. Guapo's going very good. I was kind of ready to show him in the 5-year-olds, but yeah, so he's right there. Está bien, Sergio. Hey, shh. Shh. Not breeding time. Shh. There's Mozart. There's Izzy. Izzy is Guapo's little brother. He's a 3-year-old Ibiza. Mozart. Izzy's super cute. Mackenzie's been riding him. Over here, they're working on this drain that got plugged. So they're working on that stuff. Back this way, soulmate. There's the new Frisian, Kodiak, Guapo. Yeah, that's about it. I think this week we have, well, I have a clinic in Sacramento area, or I fly into Sacramento, then I go from there. And Jess has an appointment with a client with Mackenzie without me. So we'll see how that goes on Saturday, I believe. And then next week, I think I have a few more clients coming. So we'll see if we can sell anything. Hopefully not Soulmate, because you guys like Soulmate. All right, I think that's it. I'll ride him a little bit, get going with the rest of my day. Peace, guys. Thanks for being here.